So today we're going to talk about how those ball bearing problems that we did in class, how they're related to solving the equation with variables on both sides. Because you saw that those ball bearing problems, you had to balance them. You had to take away certain things from each side. And then you could kind of divide them up into equal groups. Well, that's really what you do when you solve an equation with variables on both sides. So what I mean by this equation here, 4x plus 7 equals 6x minus 3, it's almost like I have 4 boxes on one side and 6 on the other. So I can take away 4 boxes from each side. So notice I'm kind of I'm doing my inverse operations. So I'll do the same thing over there as well. Now don't lose that equal sign. I've seen some students do this, like bring the equal sign down there. Great. So we get a 10 on one side, a 2x on the other. We divide both sides by 2, and we get that x equals 5. And notice it didn't really matter what side we brought the x's to. You could have subtracted 6x. It just means you have to subtract 7 also. So let's keep playing with some variables on both sides. So yeah, we could do some other properties with it as well. You might take a look at this one and think, okay, I got to do the distributive property. And I'm going to get 10x minus 5. I'm going to bring down the rest of my stuff. How about if we distribute the negative sign through, so we get a negative 3x and a positive 2. Maybe we'll group together some of our like terms. So I'll group together the 10x and the negative 3x to give me a 7x. And likewise, I'm going to combine my 7 and my 2. And I'm going to get 9 minus 3x. Oh, don't lose the equal sign. Now I'm at the same spot I was in before. I just have to balance it. So maybe I'll balance by adding 3x to the other side and also adding 5 to the other side. Don't lose that equal sign. 10x equals 14. Divide by 10. You want to write it as 14 over 10? That makes me happy. You want to write as 7 over 5? That makes me happy. You want to write as 1.4? That makes me happy. All answers are good. Yeah, you like fractions? Oh, no, I don't like fractions. Well, then let's get rid of them. Let's multiply by the denominator, because that lets us get rid of the fractions. What do you mean by that? Let me show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my whole entire thing by my denominator of 3. So let's go through step by step what's going to happen. So first of all, I'm going to do 3 times 2/3. So when you do 3 times 2/3, your 3's will cancel out and you'll be left with 2. So this whole first term here that I'm going to kind of circle in blue a little bit, that whole first term just becomes 2 times 4x minus 1. Oh, but don't stop there, because after you multiply the 3 by that term, you have to also multiply the 3 by the 2x and get 6x, and the 3 times the 5 and get 15. So that's a neat little trick about clearing out a fraction. You don't like fractions? I don't like them either. Cancel them out. So now let's do some more distributing. We're going to get an 8x minus 2. That equals a 6x plus 15. Let's balance. Subtract 6x, add 2. We get that 2x equals 17. Don't lose that equal sign. Dividing by 2. You want to leave your answer as 17 over 2? That's cool. I like it. So let's see how good we did with that little fraction canceling out trick. Check this out. Oh, mama. That's crazy. But here's my number, so call me maybe. So let's talk about how we're going to do this problem here. First of all, I'm going to find that least common denominator. It looks like my denominators are 7 and 3. So my least common denominator is going to be 21. So what I want to do is I want to put a big old parentheses, bracket, square kind of thing around it. And I'm going to multiply everything by 21, which means that 21 gets distributed there. It's going to get distributed there, so I'm going to multiply that by 21. That's going to get multiplied by 21. That's going to get multiplied by 21. So lots of 21s there. So let's see now. One at a time now. If I do 21 times 1/7, it's like doing 21 divided by 7. I get 3. So I'm going to end up getting 3 times 2x minus 3. Let's multiply the 21 times the 4x. I think 21 times 4 is 84. Oops, that's a plus sign, plus sign. If we keep going, if we're doing 21 times 4 over 3, what if instead we write it as 21 over 3 times 4, or 7 over 4, which is 28. So we get 28 times 5x minus 1. And 21 times 2 is 42. Whew. So multiplying everything by the common denominator clears out all your fractions. And that really scary one doesn't look too scary anymore, because now we just got to distribute. 6x minus 9 plus 84x. 28 times 5 is 140. And then we bring down all the other stuff. Let's combine some of those like terms. 6 and 84 give me a 90x. 140x is over here. A negative 28 and a positive 42 is like 42 subtract 28, and that's a positive 14. So now let's see. Maybe I'll subtract 90x. I'm balancing here. Let's subtract 14. And I'm going to get a 50x over there. And negative 9 and negative 14 is negative 23. Divide both sides by 50. And x equals negative 23 over 50. Wow. So you learned something pretty cool here. Besides balancing the equation, you learned the way to cancel fractions. Multiply everything by the common denominator.